Thank you. Madam Speaker, Parliament is not a place to promote obscurantism. Parliament is meant to promote enlightenment. When people are confused outside, they must be enlightened here. If we increase the confusion, we are failing our people. I've said here, and I'm going to repeat. The responsibility we have on our shoulders is heavy. This nation lies on our shoulders. If it is made up, we are responsible. If it is broken, we are also responsible. Party politics does not help in these chambers. Wait until you go on the field and then you score your scores there. Here we are talking about the Gambia. Every single speaker who spoke here today spoke about agriculture, spoke about health, spoke about infrastructure, spoke about education. And you have just finished dealing with your estimate and your budget. You know what you have approved. You are not worried about that. You are talking about this. All that you have been saying, these people are not here simply to come and listen. Her Excellency and her colleagues are not here just to listen for listening's sake. They are here to listen to criticism of their policies, whether they are good or not. What do we have to add to improve those policies? That is why they are here. You talk about agriculture. What do you have to offer? You talk about fisheries. What do you have to offer? You know what they have been giving. You know what they have been giving is pittance. That cannot develop histories. It cannot develop agriculture. And yet we want agriculture. We want this. We are not talking about it. I think we should start thinking more seriously about this country. People are tired. 50-something years, you are still talking about not having water to drink. 57 years, you are saying you don't have electricity in your houses. You are talking about this. These people are talking about water. What is priority? A term that has been used for ages in this country and it has not solved anybody's problem. Priority, prioritize. What do you prioritize? Development, for me, priority is not a word to be used in development. For example, let me give you an example. There's health, there's agriculture. Which of these two is priority? Which of them? Somebody will say health because you have to live before you eat. Yes, but strategically, agriculture must be addressed because it is agriculture that will make health to survive. You see the difference? Priority there, but strategically, if you want health to survive, you must develop agriculture. Look, strategically, you must address agriculture, not health. Because health depends on agriculture. I said here in my analogy, and people don't understand what I was saying. Imagine we had 10 fishing vessels on our waters right now, with all the fishing gears required for the purpose. How many people are going to work on those vessels? How much income and revenue are they going to generate? How are we going to do it? We must bring people down to accept the fact that that is where we must work. That is the debate. The debate is not about 3 years or 4 years. Who cares about that? Let us not be hypocritical about things. That was dead since 2017. Nobody talked about it. When it was being killed, when it was being assassinated, they were clapping. And when things went another way around, they are crying. What's your problem? We should stop being hypocritical about matters. Development is not about hypocrisy. Development is about thinking strategically and being ready to sacrifice. But you are not prepared to sacrifice. When I jokingly made a proposition here, the next day they wanted to cut my throat. Everywhere I went, you are mad, you are mad. And it is, for me, it is concrete. You are indebted to your neck. You don't have anything you do in this country, you have to borrow or you have to beg. I say, okay, for 2020, let us all sacrifice all our allowances every month for 2020. And then we address the development of the deficit and pay Al-Qarafi, 180 million. You would have made over $7 billion. They say, I am mad. You are talking about allowance. Farmers have their groundnut, which is already a liability in their hands. You are their representatives. Somebody is talking about the trade season. Farming has become a liability to the people of this republic. You are not talking about that. Your farmers are not going to have their groundnuts bought. And even where they are bought, it is going to be bought cheaply. Nobody wants your groundnut because the quality is no longer good. They have said that over and over, and no effort is being made to change that. And unless that is changed, you will not have any market for your groundnuts. What's wrong with people in this country? When are we going to start thinking, not for ourselves, but for our people who entrust us with this responsibility? We come here, we start insulting each other. What is the problem? My colleagues, I'm very sorry, but we must stop this. This place is not meant to come here and start making scores against each other. We know people are just being hypocritical, but you know the problem where it lay. When the problem started, you kept quiet. It's built. You want to gather it. It's impossible. It's impossible. We must now focus for the development of this country. The president said he is going for 5 years. You cannot do anything about that. That is what the law permits him to do. Section 63. Section 65 only says he can resign. On the basis of that, we agreed. None of us was ignorant of the Constitution. No one can teach me the Constitution of this republic. No one. However qualified a lawyer you are, we brought Constitution into politics in this country. My party. You cannot deny that. So it was not out of ignorance that we chose 3 years. It was just tactical. It was a tactical move to solve a problem. Nothing else. Not ignorance. We don't need 5 years. Coalition doesn't need 5 years to do what we had programmed ourselves to do. Just reforms. Amending the Constitution, reforming the Constitution, reforming institutions. 3 years we can do that. Just clearing the field for a multi-party contest in a decent situation. That was all we wanted to do. And the tactic worked well. What people thought was impossible happened. And the whole world was amazed. Nothing like this had ever happened anywhere in the history of humanity. You know that. Everybody said it in the world. It was just on the way. Somebody came in and destroyed everything. We know. And people don't want to say that. You want to hold me responsible. Somebody spoke here, he was insulting me. That we are going to be held responsible. Who is going to hold me responsible? Let him come and hold me. Come and hold me responsible and see what I will do to you. Who can hold me responsible? No one. I'm very proud for what I have done. So what we have to do now, let us prepare ourselves for the contest. That is what we need to do. Stop talking. Stop talking emptily. It will never serve you any purpose. Others are getting ready war. You talk here. Blah, blah. You see what will happen. Now, Madam Speaker, I think I want to cite this section of the Constitution. For me, that is my problem. Section 213, subsection 2. The state shall pursue policies which will avoid undue dependence on other nations and institutions. This is Section 213, subsection 2 of our Constitution. There are more, but I'm just going to base myself on this. This is very clear. To avoid undue dependence on other nations and institutions. Because if you do so, you are sacrificing the sovereignty of your country. You'll be here, but decisions for the running of the affairs of this country will be made outside, independent of your will. And that is what is happening. It has been happening since the First Republic, Second Republic, and then... And so this is what we have to address. For me, well, I have a solution to the problem of this country. I have. If I'm given the means, I will address and solve the economic problems of this country, but not without sacrifice. I emphasize, and not without sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. Me, I'm prepared to sacrifice all my allowances, forever. If that will solve the problem, and it will help to solve the problem. All those people who are receiving big allowances in this country, they can forgo them and depend on their salaries for survival. Sacrifice in the spirit of developing this nation, in the interest of all of us. We can do it. Or, let us create a think tank on agriculture. Let us create a think tank on the productive sectors of this economy to address the issue of where and how are we going to generate income without recourse to begging and borrowing. China has done it, and we can all do it, but they didn't do it without sacrifice. They didn't care about what happened in the world. They closed their door to the world. Bamboo curtain, we will also use cedar curtain here, and we'll develop. We can do it. We have people with intelligence, we have people with commitment, we have people with sacrifice, spirit of sacrifice. Why can't we do it? We should be tired of begging. Somebody said here, water. Yes, 95% of boreholes in this country are begging. They are grants or loans, in fact grants. How can you depend on grants for your survival? Water is primary to my survival. I said here, development can never be development unless everything that is primary to your being is handled and controlled by yourself. If you can do that, then you are dependent. You are not independent. Anything that is primary to our development must be generated by ourselves, must be controlled by ourselves. Anything secondary, wow, it can come anytime. But primary, we control it. We cannot do without that. That is what we must begin to do in this country. As from next year must be a year of fundamental change. A stop to begging, a stop to loans. We can. No nation has been developing loans and begging. It
Honorable,
is impossible.
you have 2 more minutes.
In fact, you can make it 3 because I'm the father of the...
Can you come up again?
You are the only one who is not aware that
Appealing, I can give you 3 more minutes.
elected father of the chambers.
Supposing everybody demands for that.
But
Go ahead.
Seriously, you see, when you talk about health, I know many people who cannot be treated in this country. Some of them are kids. Sometimes we even publish this in Foria. Kids and adults who cannot be treated here. There are many. And every day new numbers are added to the old ones. These are Gambian citizens. But we've seen that there are Gambians, special Gambians, who are ill and cannot be treated here, they are flown out of this country. We know that also. So what can we do? I'm very happy that we now have a Minister of Health who, for the first time, I'm not going to go into it in detail because he is working on it, who is going to, for the first time, create a health facility here in this country, which is going to be a specialist health institution where you can be treated without being referred to Dhaka or to London. That is what we want. I'm sure he is in that process. 100% sure that he is in the process. Maybe the physical infrastructures are now being created. 50-something years, you have to run to Dhaka. You have to run to Ghana. You have to, if you don't have money, how can you go there? It's not correct. So let us create that which belongs to all of us, and all of us can go there at cheap price. Let us use our common property, our money, to develop that. It is fundamental to our existence. The hundreds and hundreds of Gambians, I know somebody with 2 kidney problems for the last 10 years, she has been battling in this country. Sometimes she had to rush to the car to get some type of treatment to continue surviving. She's still surviving. But the 2 countries are all faulty. She doesn't have, the husband doesn't have, the family doesn't have. But we have. We are all paying money into the coffers of this nation. Let's use that to create that institution. All of us can go there when we are sick, because we cannot afford to go to Europe or elsewhere. Madam, I don't want to abuse your generosity.
The additional minutes are done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank